Welcome to F1 Math. Today we're going to be working on a past paper. So we're going to be working on a past paper. We're going to work on the April 2018 math paper, and I'm going to go through it systematically, and I'm going to show you how to work out the questions and the solutions. Okay, if I'm going too fast, please stop me. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson. Okay, so going through the past papers, there's a lot of questions that require you to think more than others, but I'm going to go through the whole paper, or most of the whole paper, and see how far we get through it, okay? So the first paper, and I'm going to share my board with you. Okay, the first part of this question paper says, they give us a number grid, okay? They provide for us a number grid, and they want us to add the two top numbers to get the number below. So a number grid, and so for the first number grid, we have something like this. They've given us two top numbers, and they want us to work out the number below. And we know this is quite basic. 10 plus 15 is going to be 25. Then the next one they've given us is -8, and they do not give us the grid next to it, but they give us the lower grid, and it says -3. So we have to ask ourselves, what number needs to go there in order for this answer to be correct? Okay, -8 plus 5. So -8 plus 5 is going to give me -3. Okay, so let's move it along. I'm going to clear out this board. The next question says, there are two books. There's book A and book B. Okay, and book A has 500 pages and book B has 360 pages. Okay. And it says Lily reads 32% of book A. So Lily reads 32% of book A, and Safia reads 40% of book B. And the question is, showing with working who read more pages. So who read the most pages? Was it Lily that read 32% of a 500-page book, or was it Safia that read 40% of a 360-page book? So how do we work that out? Firstly, we say 500 multiplied by 32 divided by 100. And we know 500 times 32 divided by 100 is going to give us 160 pages. And Safia read 40% of 360-page book. So we're going to say 360 multiplied by 40 divided by 100. 360 times 40 divided by 100 is going to equal to 144 pages. So who read the most amount of pages? It's going to be Lily, because she read 160 pages out of a 500-page book, as opposed to Safia, who read 144 pages of a 360-page book. So even though Lily read 32% and Safia read 40%, it's the amount of pages for us to work out to see who read more. Okay, the next question says, a bottle of juice holds 1.5 liters. So there's a bottle of juice, and it holds 105 liters of juice in it. Ahmed pours all the juice into glasses. So Ahmed's going to pour all the juice into glasses, and he pours 250 milliliters into each glass. So basically, he needs to pour 250 ml in each glass. And the question is, how many glasses Ahmed uses? So we will know logically that in every liter, there's 4 250 milliliters. So in half a liter, there's going to be 250 milliliters. So then that means Ahmed pours 6 glasses of orange juice, because out of the 1.5 liters of orange juice, he will be able to pour 6 glasses, each that have 250 milliliters. Okay. Sorry, guys. The next question I have is, a teacher asks her class to work out the answer to this question. Guys, do you agree with me that it was 6 glasses? Do you agree that it was 6 glasses of orange juice? It's 1.5 liters of orange juice, so it's going to be 6 glasses. Awesome. Okay, so the next question is, a teacher asks her class to work out this answer. 8 plus 12 divided by 4. Mike says the answer is 5, but he is wrong. Explain why is Mike wrong. Okay, the last week and the week before, we touched on BODMAS, and we know that in order for us to work out this answer, we need to use our order of operations. So looking at this, even though it looks like 8 plus 12 is 20 divided by 4, and 5 would be your answer, and that would sound like Mike is correct. The answer is incorrect, because what do we start with first? We start with a division. So we're going to say 12 divided by 4, and 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3 plus 8, and our answer is 11. And that explains why Mike is incorrect. That explains why the answer is not 5, like he worked it out, because of the order of operation. Okay? When I talk about order of operation, I am talking about BODMAS. So you see there's division before addition or subtraction. So the division has to come first. The next question that was on it was about congruency. So I'm going to share a picture with you guys, or right now. Okay, so if you look at that, it says triangle A shown in the diagram. Triangle A in the diagram is shown on this diagram, and it says draw a ring around the diagrams below that are congruent to triangle A. So you are looking at the diagram with me, and it wants you to draw a ring around the triangles below that are congruent to triangle A. So I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to just have a look at the pictures, and then you tell me which triangles are congruent to triangle A. Okay, so let's look at this two here. Okay, firstly, automatically we know that this is congruent to that. And why would we say that it is congruent to triangle A? Two sides. We have two sides and one angle that is equal. Two sides and one angle that's equal. So between these two, this triangle is congruent to triangle A. Now let's look at these two triangles. Which one of these two triangles are congruent to triangle A. Okay, it's this triangle as well. And why is this triangle congruent to that triangle? Okay, because we have one side and two angles that are equal. One side and two angles that would be equal to triangle A. Okay, so guys, you got to look at the sides, you got to look at the angle so that you can use this when you're working out congruency. Okay, just before I carry on any further, guys, you can use BODMAS and you can use BIDMAS. Some of you are more familiar with BIDMAS because they speak about the index. BODMAS is more a primary stage operational order, where it talks about the order in which you solve your equation brackets before division and multiplication and so forth. If you're comfortable with using BIDMAS, please go for it, because at this stage you guys do use index and it makes more sense to use BIDMAS. Okay, now moving along, and the next question asks us to work out the following. 1.5 times 0.8 and B 15 divided by 0.06. Okay. 1.5 times 0.8. Guys, these will be easier for you to work out with your calculators. I'm sure that if you are not calculating it in your head already, you have a calculator sitting next to you, and 1.5 times 0.8 is equal to 1.2. Now, 15 divided by 0.06 is equal to 15 divided by 0.06 equal to 250. Okay. Thank you guys for those using your calculators and working it out. Just once again, BODMAS just means off. That's all it means. It doesn't mean anything out of the ordinary. It just means off. Okay. So you're using your calculator, you are working out straightforward things. Guys, do not confuse things in your paper. Look at what the question's asking and answer accordingly. Now, I'm going to draw a picture on this board. Okay, and this is a question about 280 students in year 10. So these are with grades A, B, and C. These are kids that have grades D, E, and F, and this is my total. Okay, then I've got boys and I've got girls. Girls, and the total once again. Okay, good. 280. And so here goes the question. It says there are 280 students in year 10. Half of the students are boys. 155 of the students get a grade of A, B, or C in their mathematics test. 61 girls set a grade of D, E, or F. Okay, so starting from the beginning, they want us to fill out this graph. So in each round, firstly, we know that they say half of the students are boys, and then they say 155 of the students get a grade of A, B, C, or D in their mathematics test. So what should we then do? We know that 155 of the students get A, B, or C. We know how many is getting A, B, or C. So the total down here should be 155 because that's how many students are getting A, B, or C. And then we know that half of the students are boys. So also that it tells us that 61 girls get a grade of D, E, or F. So where do we begin? So let's see what's given to us. What is given to us is the fact that we know 61 girls are getting D, E, and F. Okay, so we always go with whatever's given to us. Yes, we know half of 280 is 140. So half of the girls is getting, half of the boys is getting the symbols and half of the girls. So let's go to the front of this where it says 155 of the students get a grade of A, B, or C. But they start off, let's go with what the girls are getting firstly. Girls get a grade of D, 61 girls get D, E, or F. So what we're going to do is going to take 140 and minus the 61 from it. And your answer will be 79. So we know if 61 girls are getting D, E, and F, 140 minus 61 is going to give us 79. Now, how will we then work out what the boys are in the A, B, and C? We know the total is 155. So what we're going to definitely do is say 155 minus 79. And we know that 76 boys are getting A, B, or C. Okay, so now we go to the part where we talk about we've got 61 girls that's getting D, E, or F. How do we work out how many girls are getting, how many boys are getting D, E, or F? So we just say 140 minus 76, and your answer will be 64. So now, what is missing from the bottom here? Basically, for us to add these two up. So we say 64 plus 61 is equal to 125. 125 plus 155, this will give us this amount. So we know our scale, our table is correct. So just looking at this diagram or this graph table, it shows us how many boys had A, B, or C, how many had D, E, or F, the totals, and same with the girls and the totals. Always begin with what's given, okay? Tables will normally give you one or two clues. The questions will give you, or the clues will give you a suggestion of what is going on. Work with what you have first. Okay, part B of this says, a student is chosen at random from year 10. A student is chosen by random from year 10. Write down the probability that the student is a girl with grade D, E, or F. So what is the probability that the student is a girl firstly, and the girl has a grade of D, E, or F? So how do we go about working that out? Firstly, looking at D, E, or F, there's 61, okay? So how do we work out the probability of that? We're going to say 61 divided by 280. Okay, we're going to say 61 divided by 280. And I'm sure you all have your calculators on you, and your answer is going to be 0.217, whatever. If we have to work it out in percentage, it'll be 22%. So write down the probability that a student is a girl with a grade D, E, or F. There's a 22% probability of that happening. Okay. Did you guys understand that? Good. Okay, so here is an expression. here is an expression that I'm going to write down for you. It's 3a plus 4 plus 7b. And the question is, what is the third expression in this? So what in this is the third expression? Okay, the third expression on this is 7b. Everybody agreed? 7b would be the third expression. Okay, because 1, 2, 3, that would be your third expression. Then it says, use the laws of arithmetic to write down numbers in the boxes to make these calculations correct. Now, last week I worked with simultaneous equations. So when we're working with simultaneous equations, we know that the left and the right must equal to each other. So if I have 4,5 times 8 is equal to 4.5 times 2 times 2, and I have a block. Firstly, you're all sitting with your calculator, so 4.5 times 5 is going to equal, times 8 is going to equal to 221. Oh, sorry. What am I doing? It's equal to 32. 4.5 times 8 is equal to 32. And here it says 4.5 times 2 times 2 and something else is going to give me 32. If you've already worked it out, you know it is times 2 again. And then we will have it equal on both sides. 8,84 times 25 is equal to 8,84 times 100 divided by something. Now, let's just look at this for a little while. 8,84 multiplied by 25 will give us 221. On this side of the equation, it says 8.84 multiplied by 100 divided by a number is going to give us this answer. Just by looking at it, okay, what would we know that we need to divide 100 by to bring us back to that? How many 25s are there in 100? 4. So if you work it out now in your calculator, you will see that 8.84 times 100 divided by 4 will bring you back to this answer. Okay, and this is what we call simultaneous equations. We're going to do one more. 6.8 times 5 is equal to 6.8 times something divided by 2. 6.8 times 5 is equal to 34. 6.8 times something divided by 2. So for me to come back to this answer, I would need to multiply that by 10, because 6.8 times 10 divided by 2 will give me 34. Everybody agreed? Okay. Is there any question I've worked on so far that you guys don't understand? Okay, so guys, this is just the first part of the exam paper that I've worked with you guys today. I will work with, I will continue to work with the rest of this paper, and there's 3 more examination papers that I want to get through with you guys for October, November 2018, April, May 2019. And hopefully I will be able to pull out another paper for you guys so that you have a good understanding of what to look forward to when you sit down to write this exam.